guys, my name is Mikey. Breakfast all eaten, showered, clothes on. Now it's time to head off to school. Let's do it. You guys didn't know there was a huge storm that rolled in here last night. For the whole Midwest, loud thunder, bright lightning, pretty much the extent of it. Internet was going crazy. Alright guys, on our way to school. I can't really talk while I drive, and I can't talk to you when I get there because I might be running late. So I'll talk to you after. What is up guys? All back from class. How are we all doing today? Well, it is time to drive home, so I will see you there in just a second. Hey, what is up guys? All back from school. Alright, let's talk. So, I wanted to talk today to you guys about my camera history. So, I will link all of these down below, so that way you can go look them up if you want to use them or whatever you want to do. So I started off with the Fujifilm point and shoot that had 12 megapixels, 10 times zoom, not detachable lenses, so it had one lens that could zoom in, that was it. So I ended up trading that for a PS3. Not a very long story. I wanted a PS3, so I didn't use that camera very much, so I sold it and I got a PS3. I ended up selling that PS3 later, so it didn't really matter. And after that, I got a Canon T3i. That was my first DSLR, entry-level DSLR, so that kind of makes sense. I didn't really use that either, so I ended up selling that to my dad. That had 18 megapixels, it has detachable lenses, and it's really, really cheap. It was around the same price as the Fujifilm. The Fujifilm was $200. The Canon T3i, when I bought it, everything included was probably around $450. So, awesome. The Fujifilm was given to me as a gift, but I knew how much it was because that was the exact one that I wanted, pretty much. So then I sold the T3i to my dad because I didn't really use that one very much. I'm not going to go get that one. And I don't have the Fujifilm, but I do have the camera I still carry around with me as a separate just point and shoot camera. It's a Canon PowerShot. That's it right there. It has 12 times optical zoom. It's the PowerShot ELPH 340HS. I just carry this around like in my bag with me to school. I also have this camera that I bring with me, but I bring this one with me like in my pocket or in my backpack just in case I need to take a picture or something and it's a little bit better than my phone camera because my camera does shoot 12 megapixels, but this is just a little bit better because it can zoom in and it looks better zoomed in. So and then I have this camera, and the main reason I got this camera is because it has autofocus during video, because I want to be in front of the camera without having to stay in like one spot, so I can move back here and stay in focus, come all the way up here and stay in focus. And that's pretty much the main reason I got this camera, because the Canon T3i doesn't have pretty much any autofocus during video. All it has is you have to press down on the little shutter button and then it focuses on what's in front of it. But if you're not touching the shutter button, then it doesn't focus on you, and you have to do manual focus and then stay like right here, and you have like 1 or 2 inches to move around and stay in focus. So I didn't really like that. I wanted to get this camera so I could be a little bit more of a professional. I do some client work, but not very much right now since I'm just starting out. So this camera is a Sony a6300. And it is awesome because it has 24 megapixels and a little bit more, like 24.2 or something like that. It also shoots in 4K at 30 frames per second and 24 frames per second. It shoots in 1080p. Right now I'm doing 1080p at 60 frames per second. It also shoots in 30 and 24 on that. And then it also shoots in 720p, 120 frames per second. You saw a little bit of that slow-mo just a second ago. And then it also shoots in 720p and 60 frames per second. So if you want to save some battery, you can use that. But that's a little bit more of the reason why I bought this camera, is because it can shoot in 4K and I can do more professional work, because it actually records in 6K and then downscales to 4K on the sensor. So it records the full sensor at 6K and then downscales it. So it preserves all of the detail that it would have if it was shooting at normal 4K, but it has 6K, so it preserves even more detail, all of the detail that a sensor can bring, and then downscales it to give it that detail. So another thing that is amazing with this camera is the autofocus. So I'm just going to use this mouse, and I'm going to put it in front of the camera, and you'll see it'll switch back and forth. So I'll put it up here, mouse, my face, mouse, my face, mouse, my face. And you can see it. I don't know how long it's taking to focus on the mouse, but you can see it switching from the mouse to my face is super quick. I don't know when it's in focus on my face, so I can put the mouse back up there. But you can see it like switching back and forth, and it's just amazing. Like, I can't even believe it. It has 425 autofocus points across the entire sensor. So you can also do like wide, small, you can do facial recognition, which is what I'm using, so that way it stays focused on me and doesn't try and focus back here on my background, which is my other desk that I have besides this one. So that's pretty much why I bought this camera, is so that I can use it for professional use whenever I'm running and gunning and I'm just kind of walking around or street shooting, and I can just focus on anything. Boom, 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 boom. Another reason I bought this camera, this is actually another really big reason, since I had the Canon T3i. When I bought this camera, I also got this Metabones adapter. And what it does is adapts Canon lenses for DSLR, not full frame, APS-C Canon lenses. They're the EF lenses, like this 50mm, and it adapts them so that way they can go on the Sony cameras, which is awesome, because I didn't want to go out and buy another 50mm lens, because most likely I would be using the 50mm for blurry background video shots. Which is that bokeh, and it gets like the nice, it would turn these lights into like nice big circles if I'm focusing on, let's say, my camera, and that would just be fantastic. I am going really in depth with this camera because this one has the most features. Like, my Canon T3i has pretty high resolution raw photos, but the video doesn't have as many features. It just shoots in 1080p. I think it goes up to like 30 frames per second. And then this, you know, it's just a point and shoot, not that exciting. And then I have my phone, which is the Nexus 6P, which shoots in 4K, but it's not that exciting because it's just 12 megapixels. It's pretty good in low light, but it doesn't have OIS, optical image stabilization, so I don't really want to use it for professional use. I might use it up on a tripod, like pointing at me or something, if I really have to. So until I get a new phone, I really won't be using this for video. Sometimes for photos, some photos on Instagram, yes. So that's pretty much my camera history. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Alright guys, that is the end of today's vlog. I really hope you enjoyed it. This is my first one, and I think that I did the best that I could, that's for sure. If you guys liked it, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. I do tech videos, I might do vlogs, and I do behind the scenes or advice about tech. Leave a comment down below if you guys have any suggestions. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe, hit that bell, get notifications. See ya.